I have for you today a fun process video that's going to feature a ton of stamping and die cutting, and I also pulled this Love Story Webster's Pages paper pad out, but I end up using just like the tiniest little bit of it. So I'm going to start with a background. I have been loving creating my own stamped backgrounds recently. So what I have here is the new Ink Road Stamps Hello Gorgeous stamp set, the stamps, and then also the dies. And these stamps and dies, they're not ones where like you stamp and then you die, cut the thing. I guess you can, but really they're made to be two standalone products. But I'm going to use them both together because I think that they're like fabulous. So what I have here is I have some Altenew, it's one of the warm gray colors. And I think it's called Moon Rock. Yes, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. So I am going to stamp all over this 8.5 by 11 paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line them up, line the stamping up so that it looks like the Hello Gorgeous kind of just goes right into the next Hello Gorgeous. And it's going to be super cute. See, like that? I'm lining that S up right to the G, and then I'm going to stamp it down. And because most of this process requires me to have like CPR strength to stamp this down, I cut most of it out because it was just a lot of my head pushing down on my stamp platform. So I'm going to clean this up, and then because of the way that this Hello Gorgeous stamp is created, there is little gaps that are going to be a part of my pattern there, right? And so for those little gaps, I'm going to take the next darkest gray color from Altenew that I have, and I believe it's called Lava Rock. It's like a brown gray. These are all from the, if you go to their website, it's the Mini Ink Cubes, the warm gray colors. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp this flower into all the little gaps to finish up my patterned paper here. And this is a really fun stamp set because it's gigantic. It's so big. It's so perfect for scrapbooking, you guys. Like, it's lovely. It's big and it's scripty. And I'm sure you can make cards with it too, but when I received mine and looked at it, I was like, this just yells scrapbook with this collection. Both the die cuts and the stamp set. And I think they make a fabulous little purchase altogether. If you've never ordered from Ink Road Stamps, remember you can always use my referral code down below. And that will give you 50% off your first order. And then if you've ordered before, you can always use my code, Sarah10, to get 10% off any purchase that you make. So, and then I'm just going to enable you today because I'm going to pull some sequins in from Spiegel Mom Scraps, and you know what? She just released a whole bunch of gorgeous sequins, and you can use my code Sarah15 to get 15% off your order at Spiegel Mom Scraps to get some gorgeous sequins. And I'm going to mix both. I'm going to mix sequins in with this layout as well. So there will be, this layout is primarily sequins and stamps. So I finished up my stamping, and then my mother-in-law walked through and she turned my light off. So now it got real dark, but it's okay because I'm just going to grab some coordinating pens here that are going to match my layout, and then I'm going to, off camera, color up all of the flowers that I just made. I use Tombow dual brush pens for my coloring. They're just the ones that I like. And so now off camera, I have colored in all of those gorgeous flowers, and I have die cut a bunch of die cuts. So the flowers, I cut 12. I cut 9 on white cardstock and then 3 on some pattern paper from that paper pad. And I am stacking these die cuts up. I'm putting the white ones one on top of the other. I am using my Close to My Heart glue this is called Bonding Memories Dual Action Glue Pen. It's from Close to My Heart, and it's really nice. I really, really like it. I've been using it for things like this, and also for die cuts, like backing die cuts, and I think it's fabulous. So I'm just stacking them one on top of the other to get some nice thick dimension on these die cuts, and then I have a nice thick die cut. These are reminiscent of chipboard because with the dimension that they give, but if you know me, you know I don't like chipboard because of the brown edges, and this is a fabulous way to get that lovely dimension, no brown edges. So these are the dies that I use to cut these from. These are the dies from Inkroad that coordinate, and I have the flowers, and then I have these, the words that say Hello Gorgeous, and look how delicate these are. Oh my word, they're so, so lovely. So I did the same thing. I cut 3 white and then one of this pattern paper, and I glued them right on top of the other, and now I have some fabulous embellishments that coordinate perfectly with my background and are going to provide a lot of the base for this layout. I'm going to get my photos down, and then what I decided I wanted to do was over one of my stamped Hello Gorgeous, that's where I wanted to put my chipboard piece. So I really wanted the chipboard piece, and the die cut and the stamp are exactly the same size, so they fit over each other. So this would be a really fun set of stamps to use if, again, for scrapbooking, because you can do something like this with a background, and then over top of one of your stamped images you can add the word. And I think it's just, I just love it. I think this is awesome. We need more of these. Laura, we need more of these types of stamps and die sets. Haha. So now I did mess up that stamp part down in the corner, and I wasn't going to let it throw me off. I'm just going to cover that stamped piece that didn't quite stamp well, and I'm going to cover it up with one of my flower die cuts, and I'm also going to add some of these stickers. So these are the stickers that came with that Love Story collection from Webster's Pages, and they're really small stickers which work perfectly for this layout because I don't want a lot of big embellishment. I just want a little tiny bit. So I'm going to layer up some of these tags underneath some of the die cuts just for a small pop of color. It really isn't a lot at all. And then I'm going to grab one of the free stickers and put it above. So I still have, you know, the bones of a layout, but I really want, with all that color in the background and all that work I did on stamping and coloring all the flowers, I don't want a ton of embellishment. So I'm just going to add a couple of things here and there to my layout, and then I'm going to pull out the 50s Sock Hop sequins from Spiegel Von Scraps. These are still available in the shop as of yesterday when I checked, so you can grab those. That sequin mix. It's a beautiful, beautiful sequin mix, but it has these tiny little butterflies, and it's gorgeous. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. These are photos of my niece, and the only thing I want to document on here is really how old she is. My sister is a photographer, and she takes these fabulous photos of her every month, and then she sends them to me. And the photos are so beautiful, and my niece is so sweet that I totally have to document and get most of them printed and scrapbooked. It's a problem. It's such a problem. But at the same time, I babysit her once a week, and I see her a lot, so I'm really close to her too, and as like I am to all my other nieces and nephews. So I'm just gluing down some of the pieces with some Scotch Quick Dry adhesive. Because it took me so long to stack all these die cuts on top of each other, if you let that Close to My Heart bonding glue dry before you get something stuck down on it, it ends up being a temporary adhesive and not permanent. So the top layer of my die cut started to come loose because it had dried before I stuck the next one on top of it, and I ended up with temporary adhesion instead of permanent. So I am going to go ahead and grab these glue dots, and I'm going to create clusters of sequins around each of the flowers, and I'm also going to add a sequin to the middle of each of the flowers. I want to give those flowers, the die cut ones, a little bit more attention because the stamped ones are colored so brightly. I just wanted to add a little bit of pop, and I thought that these sequins provided just a little more embellishment, a little more color to different places. So you see how I'm doing this here, super simple. I am sprinkling the sequins around my die cut, and then if something doesn't look right, or it didn't quite sprinkle, I edit. After I sprinkle, I edit. And then I'm going to add one of these bright, pretty sequins to the middle of my flower. And I'm just going to continue to do that throughout the layout. I'm also adding those teeny tiny, this is kind of why I chose this sequin, because it has these teeny tiny beautiful butterflies in it. And I just thought that for such a soft, lovely layout, those little butterflies would be the perfect little something extra on this layout. And then we're going to pop these sequins back in their container and call this layout done. Thank you so much for joining me today. That was just me making sure I had actually adhered the sequins all down where they needed to go, because sometimes I miss one. There's my code. Please stop by the Spiegel Mom Scrap Shop and see all the beautiful mixes that were released this month. And you can also grab this sock hop mix. See those gorgeous butterflies? Oh, they're so pretty. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you all again very soon.